Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So recently someone asked me what is the general fee structure of a public university in Germany, and I think it's a really good idea to make a video on this topic because yes, public universities in Germany are free, so they don't have any tuition fees, but they have something called as a semester contribution fees. So it's not like you don't have to pay to the university at all, right? Yes, you have to pay some amount, but let's look at how much does it really cost to study at a public university in Germany. So I will break down the fee structure, semester contribution fees. I will also then tell you a little bit about living expenses, health insurance, and also some hidden costs that most students don't plan for. So if you're planning to do your master in Germany, this one is going to be super helpful for you. Let's get started. The good news is that most public universities do not charge tuition fees. So why am I not saying all public universities don't charge tuition fees? Because there are some exceptions. So in most of these public universities, you only pay what is called as a semester contribution. The semester contribution covers the administrative costs, student services, and a public transport pass. However, there are two important exceptions that you must know. So number one is that Baden-Württemberg is a state in Germany, and the universities in this state, so the cities of like Stuttgart, Heidelberg, Karlsruhe, universities in these cities now not now, they have been charging 1500 euros per semester for non-EU students. And then the second bucket is some technical universities like TU Munich recently started charging around 2000 to 3000 per semester for non-EU students for bachelor courses, and 3000 to 5000 euros per semester for non-EU students for master courses. Okay, this started from 2024 onwards. So before applying, it's important to check the university website for any kind of updates, because these rules can change. So very important to look at universities when you are applying to the state of Baden-Württemberg, and TU Munich as well is now not free anymore. Although it's a public university, it charges tuition fees now for non-EU students. So let's talk about now the general rule, okay, for public universities, that is a semester contribution. So even when tuition is free, every student pays a semester fee, usually between 250 to 400 euros or even 500 euros per semester. So this would be about 500 to 800 euros per year. Okay, this amount usually includes the student union fees. What does this mean? Like canteens, sports, student discounts. Then there is administrative fees and often a transport ticket for buses and local trains in your city. So you don't have to take a transport pass separately. With your student ticket, this is included. With your student card, this is included. Okay, so technically the only fixed cost to the university is this semester contribution, which is quite affordable, right, compared to countries like US or UK. For example, if when I was studying at TU Munich, it was free for non-EU students in 2020. So I paid 100 euros for the semester contribution. So I paid only 200 euros a year for my semester contribution. This was 20,000 Indian rupees. So I technically, if you see, I completed my master program in 40,000 Indian rupees for 2 years. Right. The next biggest part of your budget is the living expenses. So this is the major part. It's not the semester contribution fees, right? The average monthly living cost in Germany for a student is anywhere between 850 to 1,100 euros per month, depending on the city today, right? 2025. Perhaps in the previous years, it was a bit lesser, but the blocked account amount has increased. So your rent could be anywhere between 400 to 600 euros a month for a shared flat. And food and groceries could be 200 to 250 euros a month. Health insurance, 110 to 120 a month. Transportation, like I said, it's often covered in the semester fee. If not, then you can buy the Deutschland ticket, which is about 60 euros a month. And then for leisure or any kind of other costs, you can keep 100 to 150 euros a month. That brings us already to about 10,000 euros to 13,000 euros per year for your living expenses, which is about 10 lakh Indian rupees a year. Now, obviously, smaller cities like Magdeburg, Chemnitz are far more affordable than Munich or Frankfurt. Just giving an example, right? If you study in a smaller city, of course, the cost of living is lesser. So location makes a really big difference. I have studied in Munich. I know it can be very expensive if you're living in Munich, if you're studying in Munich. The rent takes up a huge part of your monthly expense. Okay. So before you apply, you for your student visa, you must show financial proof, and therefore this blocked account creation is super important. That is done through a blocked account. So the government makes sure that these living expenses, you secure it into a blocked account, which is called as a Sperrkonto, which as of 2025 requires you to show about 11,208 euros per year, which is 934 euros a month. And this amount is not an extra fee, right? It's your own living expense. So when you come to Germany, you'll activate this blocked account, you'll get money, 900 euros every month in your account. And with that, you can pay your rent, you can pay your health insurance and everything else. So so make sure you budget that separately when you're planning your move, right? So you have that blocked account, and then you have a semester contribution. Of course, you pay your semester contribution through this blocked account, right? You'll get this blocked account money, and from that you'll pay your semester contribution, but it is just something that you have to factor for. Now, health insurance, like I already mentioned, is mandatory for all students, right? So for most under 30 students, the public health insurance costs about 110 to 120 per month. It could be that every year you get a letter that, now you're 25, now you're 26, so the health insurance amount increases a little bit, but generally it is in this range. And you have the residence permit application fees, which is 100 euro. You have a semester re-registration, and you have some initial setup costs, like you might have to buy some things like your winter wear, kitchenware, SIM card, whatever. So roughly about 500 euros you should keep that aside, okay? Or your rent deposit if you're staying in an apartment or in a student WG, right? So you have to plan such expenses separately, but the main expense is your rent, your groceries, and your health insurance. Okay, now the good news about all of this is that you are legally allowed to work part-time while studying. I have made several videos on working part-time as a student. I'm linking it above. Please watch them. I'm sure it will be super helpful. Now, international students can work a certain number of days per year, okay? And the earning here is between 12 euros to 15 euros per hour. If you're working as a working student in a company, you might also be paid 17 euros per hour. That means you can earn around 700 to 1000 euros or 1200 euros a month, which can easily cover your living costs. So that income, if you get that income as a working student, you really don't have to touch your blocked account. You can just keep it as a saving, okay? That is something which is very important to note and important to do if you come here and work as a working student. There are other options, like you can look at DART scholarships, you can look at the Deutschland Stipendium, which is a merit-based scholarship. You can look for university-specific research assistantships or HEVI jobs or jobs at a company. This can really reduce your financial burden significantly. I have covered what are the different types of jobs that you can do in this particular video, which I really recommend you to watch. So before you start your application, something very important to check is the tuition fee status on the university's website, especially for non-EU students, because some change from free to paid models for non-EU students, even though they are public universities. Second, always budget for 12 months, because visa extension, you'll have to get your visa extension, and then your apartment deposit is there. These are the things that can overlap and sometimes increase your expenses. You can start your blocked account process early. Then the blocked account usually is activated quite fast, but you can bring some cash with you to survive the first few days when you land, okay? And learn German. This is very important to get a part-time job. So start learning German as soon as you can. This would be my recommendation. So that's the complete breakdown of the cost of studying in Germany. Cost of studying a master's program at a public university in Germany, with some exceptions for non-EU students. Now, this video mainly covers the semester fees to living expenses to your financial proof. And like I said, I made several videos on why you should do a part-time, why you should not do a part-time, what are the kind of part-time jobs that you should do while living in Germany as a student. Part-time jobs are also not very easy to get, unlike a lot of people think that, okay, I will just go and do a part-time job. It's not easy to get because it is getting competitive by the day, with international students, the number of international students growing. The demand is a lot, the supply is not so much. So that is something I would say, that it's very important to have your German skills in place, and try to get some part-time job so that you can reduce the financial burden on yourself. And you can also apply. I have heard from a lot of students, so this was not the case when I was applying for my jobs. I always applied with an English CV and it was okay, but nowadays I have heard that to be more competitive in the job market, you should apply with a German CV. So check the job description, what are the language requirements, and try to make two CVs, one in German, one in English, and then apply accordingly based on what is needed on the job and what you think that will make you more competitive to be able to get the job. This would be a few tips here and there for securing a part-time job, but of course I've made dedicated videos on these topics which I recommend you to watch. If you have any further questions on this particular topic, please write me comments in this particular video and I will try to answer them. But apart from that, I hope you found this video informative. If you did, please do consider liking, sharing and subscribing to my channel. 80% of the people watching videos regularly on my channel have not subscribed, so I really would be very happy if you subscribe to my channel, because it motivates me to make more videos on topics and to keep helping all of you. Yeah, and you can also book directly a call with me via TopMate. The link is in the description, and I will see you again in my next video. Press the bell icon to be notified for the next video. Any video suggestions can also feel free to put them in the comments. I will see you as always in my next video. Until then, bye and take care.